Hello everyone, welcome to another video from Sonic Academy. My name is Sami, and this video series is about the Tantra multi-effect plugin. So this is going to be a general overview of how you get to control the presets and just listen through the different sounds so you can get a feel for what this plugin does. So I'm going to play some audio, and this is put in as an insert like you would a compressor or EQ. It's right here on the channel strip. If I just press play, this is set to default right now, so this is not affecting anything, but if I wanted to, I could start to manipulate the cutoff, add some distortion. Notice there's a mix control here to bring that in. And this is our bypass control. You can maybe play around with this glitch setting. And we've got on and off controls for each effect. So you can see it's a very sonically rich sounding plugin. Now the one thing it's kind of calling for you to do is start to manipulate all these parameters in tandem. And one way you can do that is to assign a MIDI learn if you have a MIDI controller, and start to manipulate it from your MIDI controller and maybe record it as automation. But there's another way. With this plugin, we have a sort of central nervous system here where everything can be animated according to these steps. And we don't just have steps, we also have curves. So there's a lot of really interesting rhythmic possibilities here. And I'm going to go into this modulator in depth in the next video. I think for now, I just wanted to give you a general overview of the signal flow and the hierarchy of the preset systems in this plugin. So the actual master presets are up here. So if you want to listen to presets that come with it, the factory presets, you just flip through these left and right. I can just press play for you and then I'll bypass it and we'll just get a feel for a couple of these different presets. If I want to see them, I can just drop this menu down here and just check out these different sounds. See what chop sequence is. And you can see the prefixes too. So if I want a pad kind of preset, I can just go straight to the pads. And it'll likely be something that's suitable for it. So that's how you navigate through your presets. And you can also save presets here, and they'll show up in the user folder. The other thing up here is just the toolbar. As I was saying about setting up your MIDI controller, if you do set up a lot of controls and you want to save that map, you can do that right here. You can also load a MIDI map and reset it. And this is where you can set your settings as a default for all of your presets. Copy modulator and copy layer, they pertain to copying this and these settings as well. The one thing you might find useful right away is if this GUI is a bit too big for your screen, you can immediately make it compact by doing that. And now you can see this Master Effects section has been put in this tab. That saves you a lot of space on the screen. You maybe prefer it like this. I like to have that open. Okay, so going from the top then, this is the tremolo and the modulator section. This here is our effects panel. So this is where the kind of real manipulation of the audio is actually going on. So you've got your filtering, your distortion, your delay. You've got a few drop down boxes here. So you've actually got a phaser setting in here, ring mod, pitch shift, vowel. It's a very fascinating little unit all on its own, this little filter section. And then of course we've got these flanger, lo-fi, a bit more standard, bit crusher, and glitch, which is just a whole lot of fun. We're going to go into that probably in its own video later on. Okay, so this effects panel then is just one of two. We've got A and B. They're the same modules, but they're totally independent so that you can have different settings for each one, and they're not necessarily going to be connected. That will depend on how we set this up here, but I'll come to that in just a moment. Just very quickly, you can also turn each module off and you can assign a mix amount to each one. So if I just wanted a little bit of distortion, I could have it there. So the actual signal flow, you can see here, your audio comes in, you've got filter and distortion and lo-fi. Well, say I wanted to change that and have distortion right at the end, I can just pick these up and move these around as I want. This is a very useful way to try out different combinations of effects. This little button here is our mod matrix. We'll see how that ties in probably when we look at the modulator video, because that is really tied up to the mod sources. Okay, and these are the mod sources 1 to 8. Okay, moving on then, we have this switcher here. If I wanted A to feed into B, it would be in series. The signal would go into A and into B and then come out into the master effects section. If I had it this way around, the signal's split, goes into A and B at the same time. They're processed in parallel and then they're combined here. We have a mix for each panel, so I can mix in as much B's effects as I want and A, and I can also have them pan differently. And then finally you've just got an EQ, a reverb, and this is on the output. You can turn these off if you want. And you've got a final global mix control, panning, and a limiter and volume. So this limiter is useful. I tend to keep it on just so I don't clip, and you can see where your signal is here. So the last thing is, this preset panel here really is about the modulation section up here. It's not going to affect the effects panel, so you may not hear any changes as you flip through it. But once you've got some effects all rigged up to be modulated by this source, it's very handy to just flip through them. Also, if you've created some really cool shapes, you can then just save them as well. Okay, so I'm going to go into this modulator in great depth in the next video, so I'll see you there.